All right, guys, come along with me as I show you how we do meal preps at my house. So, first things first is I'm actually going to be adding another title to this list. It'll be a total of 38, and this is an ever growing list that me and my partner always go through and kind of add things and take things away as we see needed. And as you can see, that was number 38. That'll come in handy in a second. What you're seeing here is I'm typing out the recipe. Typically, most recipes I find are already pre-made recipes. They're things where it kind of already shows us what we need to do. So I'll just print out those. But for this one, I had to actually type out all the directions, which is really quick, no big deal. And then I always add a picture because it helps us to figure out what the end goal is supposed to look like, but also kind of keep in mind just exactly what we're supposed to be doing as we do it. And with me, it's always about the aesthetics. So I'm just making it look pretty, and you'll see me send it off to the printer along with the food list did go to the printer as well. So you'll see this is number 38. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out that recipe that was just sent to the printer, and I'm going to put the number 38 up at the top, and I'm also going to highlight it so that when we do have it with all of our recipes, it's easy to figure out what number is for what. They're all also in order, but that's just a me thing with being super organized. You will see also I'm going to take out a note card or flashcard, and on the line side I'm going to write out all of the different ingredients that we will need for this recipe. I like to include things that we don't typically have or might need a refresher on, but I'm never going to include things like olive oil or onions or seasonings because I know we have those unless it's something a little specialized. And on the blank side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the number 38 for this one really, really big so that we know that this is what's correlated. And each of the recipes will have something for something like this for them. And as you can see, they match. We're going to put the big 38, like I said, and that's how we know which recipes go with which cards. What I do is I also do a little label for each of the recipes, and I send these through the laminator. These are just for our whiteboard that we have, which shows us what we're going to do for meal preps. We call it Meal Prep Monday over here because we always do it on Mondays. And it just reminds us what we're cooking and what the number is for all of those things. And then eventually, what we do with these specifically is we add a little number sticker to the back, just again to make sure that they're correlated and to make sure that everything is good to go. Again, everything gets laminated because, for instance, the recipe cards come with us to the grocery store with a dry erase marker so that we can kind of mark them off and then they become reusable. And it makes our lives really easy because we get our typical things at the grocery store, but then we also get the additional recipe things that we may need that are already on that card. So there is the recipe card, there is the ingredients list, and then there is also the step-by-step instructions. So there's three things that go along with each of the recipes that we have chosen. So you can see all three things are right here. I'm going to stick that number in the back because that's where it's joining. And as you can see, the rest are already there. I make sure that I keep that back one up, and you'll see in a second why. And I do the same thing for the label for each of these things. I make sure you see them all, add it 37, and then we add 38 in, again keeping up the back side of this binder clip, and you should see that in one of the next clips. And then there's also this food list. Again, I have the food on the front, and then I have the recipes in the back. So for this, you see all the recipes. I'm adding in 38. It's going to go all the way in the back so they stay in order. And then what I do specifically, if you wanted to choose this method, is I make sure I put them in typically what you would assume is backwards. So the hole is kind of in the front. And that's so when I put it on a hook eventually, it will not fall off, which you'll see in the next clip how I do that specifically. I have this on us on the side of our dresser. I just put the food list with all the recipes, the labels, and then the ingredients. And then what you're going to see here is I actually updated it. You're going to see that I'm transferring things over to colored cards, and all those color cards are correlated with a type of meat or recipe type. And eventually we put these into a binder with the recipes. And the recipes we needed to put specifically in this binder so that they wouldn't get dirty when they were being used. And you can see our list right here, all numbered still. Again, our cards correlate with the binder colors, just showing us, for example, that one was yellow, so that meant it was chicken. And now they're in a binder rather than being on the side, but it has become really helpful, and I hope this helps.